All right. So, the weaponization of government. All right. So, this is more another example of Republicans accusing others of what they're doing. So, they created a committee to study how the DOJ is has been weaponized because Donald Trump is this poor little victim who did nothing wrong but is being politically persecuted because of his popularity and blah 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 blah. Now, and they're continuing on with this with the indictment of Donald Trump in Manhattan District Court. Now, so much wrong with this. So, first off, just the fact that they created a committee to uncover the weaponization of government, while all the while attacking those like the DOJ, like Alvin Bragg, for investigating the crimes of Donald Trump, is beyond irony. So, first off, the DOJ. Okay, you didn't seem to have a problem with, nobody seemed to have a problem when the Republicans accused Hillary Clinton of crimes and Trump kept chanting in his rally, lock her up. But, so that's not a political persecution of your political enemies. But somehow this is. Could you be any more transparent as to what the end goal is here? So, so there's that. Then there's the attacking Alvin Bragg for bringing charges against Donald Trump. And this all happened before they even knew what the charges were. And saying how he has no jurisdiction over the federal government and blah, 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 blah. And the charges come out, and it turns out he's only dealing with state law because that's his jurisdiction. It's just amazing how these people realize that he committed federal crimes, and so they immediately try to claim that Alvin Bragg is overstepping his bounds into federal crimes when nobody said shit about federal crimes. Alvin Bragg knows that what his lane is. He knows that he can only prosecute state crimes. And that's what he's doing. But the collective freakout on the Republican side just screams that they accuse others of what they themselves are doing. Because they, like I said, they didn't have a problem with Hillary Clinton. They were actually pushing for her to be locked up because reasons. But when it comes to Trump, where we have the receipts, and he's dumb enough to admit to crimes on air because I guess he just feels that he's above the law. So if he admits to crimes, that's just fine because, it's not like anyone's going to do anything anyway. So what Hillary Clinton did was wrong for reasons, but Trump parading his crimes in front of everyone and admitting to it. But somehow that's a political persecution. And we need to investigate that, and we need to exonerate Trump. and with any means necessary. How is that not the very weaponization of government that these people claim that they want to prevent? I mean, this is giving me serious McCarthy Red Scare vibes. That it might have an innocuous, it might have sounded good for most people at the time, but quickly morphed, but in this case, morphed from the very beginning into basically going after people that the committee doesn't like. So they just want to silence any investigations into Trump. And not just Trump. There is evidence that members of Congress wanted a pardon from Trump, some even a blanket pardon. Now, you do not ask for pardons unless you did something wrong or you did something illegal. There's no reason to ask for a pardon otherwise. So this isn't just to defend Trump. This is because they know that if these crimes are allowed to be punished, to be prosecuted, then they're screwed. You know, when they complain about how if this could happen to Trump, it could happen to anyone. What they're actually saying is, if this happens to Trump, we're in trouble. Not the people, not you, the people, as they're trying to make it out to be, because imagine that. People are not above the law. But the people who committed these crimes for reasons, whether it's because they truly believed in Trump, or because Trump had something on them, or whatever the reason, they helped commit crimes too. They committed crimes too. So they're basically trying to cover their own ass. So if you hear about how the Democrats are weaponizing government, no, it's the Republicans who are doing that. The Democrats are doing no such thing. And if you bring up Hunter Biden, I've got news for you. Hunter is not in government. Now, did Hunter or Joe's brother do really stupid stuff to, use the family name to get ahead in things? Possibly. But you know what? You know who else does that? Rich people in general, or connected people in general. People do that in everyday life. I'm sure you've heard the old adage, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Because for a lot of people, even those who aren't, you know, insanely powerful in the country, just in their own communities, just being related to someone gets you a foot in the door. Hell, in Hollywood, that happens all the time. I mean, how many times do children of prominent actors, of course they're going to have a foot in the door. Now, do they still have to work their asses off? Absolutely. They still have to prove themselves, but they have an easier time getting into the door. So that happens. That happens across the board. So why go after Biden's family for doing something that everybody does? Unlike Eric Trump, who seems to think everybody and every business have NDAs. No. Everybody does not have an NDA. That is not how things work. NDAs are for people who do shady ass shit. I mean, yeah, there are some companies that have non-competitor clauses, because they don't want their competitors to get whatever company secrets they have, because they don't want them bettering their products at the first company's expense. So that makes sense. But seriously, a non disclosure agreement that you had an affair with someone? What world do you people live in where you think this is common? I just. So, I just do not know what world these people live in. And it's frightening that there are so many common Americans, average everyday Americans, who will listen to Eric Trump saying that, this is a common occurrence in business and everywhere else, and agree with him. I mean, how can you agree with something like that? So anyway, yeah, again, the only people weaponizing the government are the Republicans. Trump did that a lot, by trying to get Bill Barr to, well, actually, the DOJ from the very beginning. That's why he went through different justice, head of the Justice Department. Because, you know, Bill Barr was the only one who basically has no shame and was willing to do whatever Trump wanted, like bury Mueller's report, make it sound like it's saying something it didn't say. So yeah, he the only person weaponizing government. First it was Trump, and now it's basically all the Republicans. Not all of them, but most of them, because there are some Republicans who still have a shred of dignity. Unfortunately, that's getting fewer and fewer. So, I think I've said all I could about that because I'm starting to go off on tangents. So, I will see you next time.